Right, welcome. 10 out of 10 TV, the Penguin finale. Wow, wow, wow. What a way to end this epic journey with the Penguin. And what a way to set up the Batman Part 2. Truly. I had such a good time with this season overall. So I'll be reviewing the episode, obviously. But there's more of a discussion as the overall story. You know, does it all line up? Is the finale worth it? Does it all work as a complete story and narrative? So this episode was genuinely incredible. It was really good. We start out actually in the past, so we think. It's not really the past. It's Francis's, or was it Francis? I think it was Francis. Oswald's mother having a trip down memory lane. And yeah, we learn that actually she always knew. She always knew that Oz murdered his brothers. We always knew it. Well, she always knew it, should I say. And she planned to have him murdered. With that Rex Calabrese guy. Yeah, planned to have him murdered. Had it all set up, all established, ready to go. We don't actually know why she didn't do it in the end. We don't know why. But this is all a trip down memory lane. Influenced by the ex-Arkham psychiatrist. Still Arkham psychiatrist. Get to that in a minute. And yeah, it was really... That was quite revealing. His mother always knew that he was a monster. Always knew. And just built her life around a complete lie. Crazy. Genuinely crazy. Anyway, of course, the Penguin gets taken to this jazz club where his mother was going to get him murdered. Their final night together, what would have been. And Sophia's there. Sophia Gigante, played by the epic Kristen Milioti, who is super hot. Great performance from her throughout this entire season. Or series. We don't know if there's going to be another one. There should be. And she tries to manipulate both of them in telling the other that they knew, well, the truth, basically. That his mother always knew, and she tried to manipulate the Penguin into telling his mother what he did. Brutal of the Penguin, Oswald is about to let his mother get her little finger chopped off. Literally would have allowed his mother to get her pinky chopped off. But his mother chimes in, shouts out, I always knew, you know. And it just goes to show what kind of a monster he truly is. He loves his mother, but he doesn't really. He wants the adoration of his mother. But does he love her? No. Not really. And you do get a bit of an insight into that. You know, in the past, she explains to Rex, Oswald's mother explains to Rex how he was always clingy. He was always clingy. Always wanted her to himself. Interesting stuff, really. But anyway, she suffers a massive stroke, collapses after stabbing Oswald in the gut, which was really quite brutal, actually. And Oz, in a feat of strength, rips himself free from his bonds. He's duct taped to a chair. Guns down Sophia's men. Although I will say, slight plot hole, I guess, is why they didn't disarm him. I may have to watch that again. It looked like he pulled his own gun out. Didn't look like he stole a gun. But I could be wrong, so correct me down below if I am wrong. But anyway, so he breaks free, takes his mother to the hospital, and then leaves. He goes to City Hall, and at City Hall, with Vic, he's effectively trying to worm his way into a cleaner way of life. So he sets Sophia and the Maronis up by basically saying, hey, councilman that put the lights back on in the east side, you want to be voted in again, yeah? Let me give you some villains. Let me give you some people to hate. And let me give you some people to love. This whole thing is a turf war between the Gigante Falcones and the Maronis. It's the same old thing, blah, blah, blah. Which I thought was quite interesting. I thought that was quite cool. And from there, Sophia essentially puts a hit out, a bounty, on Oz, which was quite smart. And she says, anyone that gets me the Penguin can have everything. Can have it all, I'm leaving. Have it all. But obviously she doesn't really mean that, because she sets fire to everything. And plans to leave without giving anything to anyone. But it's a really cool scene. With a rendition of Nirvana. Well, that wasn't... I don't think Nirvana did that song initially. Anyway, a Nirvana song. From what I know to be a Nirvana song. And... yeah. Oswald double crosses everyone. Yes, he gets picked up by Feng Zhao. I think that's his name. The Daimo. And yeah, basically double crosses everyone. Because he promises all of the underlings of the gang a time to shine. And because obviously that's what he was. These people, yeah, they take it. So Link, the guy with the neck tattoo, the guy who works under the Daimo that we'd seen in a few episodes back, he double crosses his boss, the Triad boss, kills him. And the Penguin essentially says to Sophia, right, let's take a ride. Let's go. Obviously setting up that he's going to murder her. And there was a really beautiful part, actually, of the cinematography of this. It was really, really quite beautiful, I thought. So the Penguin leads Sophia to the shore side and says, you know, you're never going to find peace. Someone like you, you're never going to find peace. You know, you're going to hell. Which is rich coming from the Penguin, quite frankly. But she says, I'll save you a seat. Turns around. Gets ready to be shot. But there's a beautiful thing in the framing. So we're looking at her portrait. And there's a line of lights. All bokeh. It's all blurred. If you don't know the terminology for it. All bokeh'd out. Blurred up. So it's not like a lens flare a la J.J. Abrams. And there's this beautiful moment where she finds peace. And that line would have been the trajectory of the bullet. Now, I don't know if they did that intentionally or not, but for me, looking at it, I thought that was really beautiful. I thought it was actually a really, really cool thing. But then she doesn't find peace because a light shines down on her. Penguin's gone. Police turn up. They've taken the bait. They know where she is. They've got their man to blame now. It's all set up, all good to go. She ends up in Arkham Asylum. And the Penguin goes back to his mother, who is now a vegetable, or is she? And obviously he cries and loses his temper, etc, etc. There's this really touching moment between Vic and Oz where, you know, Oz is like, yeah, you've been with me through it all. Couldn't have done it without you, kid. And Vic is like, yeah, you're like family. Thank you for taking a chance. You're like family. And it's this brief moment where you're like, yeah, cool. And then Oz proceeds to murder him. Just murders him. Straight up cold blood. Strangles him to death. Takes money from his wallet. Throws his driver's license in the river. And just leaves him there. He's dead. He's gone. Now, we're led to believe he's dead. I think he will be dead. I don't think he's coming back. And that solidifies that moment there as Oz walks off, having murdered, having lost his mother, who's a vegetable, who was the only good thing. Because he said it before in a previous episode, she's the good part of him. And because she's a vegetable, he's essentially lost the good part of him. He was always a monster anyway. But without his mother, he's completely unhinged. And he just straight up murders Vic. And he just walks off, and you're like, yeah, okay, it solidified him as this absolute brutal killer. Like he will do anything for power, and to keep that power. Anyway, flash forward presumably a few days at least. And this is where it really goes a bit unhinged. So we learn in the past that Oz had always promised his mother a penthouse suite above everyone, looking over the city. No one above, no one to the side, just hers. Anyway, we see a purpley pink Rolls Royce. Obviously it's Oz's, so he's upgraded. He's got a Rolls Royce now. Carrying a top hat. So he's wearing his comic accurate garb. Goes to his penthouse. Goes to his mother, who is just medical equipment overlooking the city. Speaks to her a little bit as if she can reply. And she cries. So she's not actually a vegetable. She can understand stuff. But I don't... Yeah. Just quite crazy. And then he goes down. He goes one below. Obviously still the penthouse. And who's there? Dressed exactly like his mother, with the makeup of his mother, with the hair coloured, dyed like his mother, that prostitute that he kept around. And he dances with her and basically gets her to say, I'm proud of you, my son, all this kind of stuff. And you're like, fuck it now. Like, this guy's just fucking nuts. Really nuts. And just gross, like it's grotesque. Anyway, and then closes with the bat signal in the sky. Which I loved. I thought it was brilliant. I thought this was a great episode. I thought it was a great finale. We do end off actually with Arkham Asylum. I can't remember which came before, whether it was Arkham Asylum or the Penguin. But basically Arkham Asylum. Sophia Gigante is in Arkham Asylum. The psychiatrist is there that was working with her. Has some letters. And one is from Selina Kyle, her half-sister. And she smiles. She reads it and she smiles. She looks happy. And she was, again, almost in a catatonic vegetative state before that. Basically just given up. So it does set up the future. It sets up Batman Part 2. It does set up Sophia getting out. It sets up the Penguin being the Kingpin of Gotham. Yeah, it sets up quite a lot, actually. He is now the Kingpin of Gotham. But Selina Kyle's still around. Sophia's still around. Played by the epic Kristen Milioti. That psychiatrist is still around, which I think will probably end up becoming the Scarecrow. Oh, that was brilliant. What a great episode. What a great finale. What a great season. What a great way to do grounded TV. I mean, this has been a fantastic gangster crime saga. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. If they don't do a season 2 of this, they're incredibly stupid. Now, I don't know if they will. Maybe there's no stories to cover. But this is the way to do it. Fill in the gaps. This is the way to do it. Now, I don't know how far we are from getting the Batman Part 2. I think it's probably 2026. I think it's filming next year. But this is what you should do. And I think that they released this at the wrong time. They should have released this a little bit closer to the release of Batman Part 2. But this makes me hungry for that universe. I want to watch it. I want to watch the second film. I want to get back in there. It makes me want to go back and watch the Batman. Actually. What a great, great series. This is 10 out of 10 TV. This year's been very, very good for TV. We had Shogun, which was just impeccable. 10 out of 10. And we've had this. This is 10 out of 10. I can't fault it. I adored it. Yeah, loved it. Genuinely loved it. So if you watched it, let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for the Batman Part 2? Let me know. If you like what I do here and you're new, please do hit subscribe. And also, if you're a returner and you like what I do, check out my Patreon. It's linked down below. YouTube loves to do some weird censorship stuff, so support me on Patreon for as little as $2 a month and get access to hundreds of hours of content, literally. Cheers, take care. Bye-bye now.